On rainy days like this, there is nothing more suitable than a fragrant home-cooked meal with braised fish and a bowl of refreshing sour soup. Sour soup, braised fish is an indispensable delicious duo in Vietnamese culinary culture, with variations in each region bringing its own unique characteristics. But when it comes to braised fish and sour fish soup, the Southwest is considered the cradle of these delicious dishes. Rustic and liberal like the people here, Western cuisine scores points by using familiar ingredients, but each season has its own food, extremely flexible and diverse. Especially on rainy days, it is easier. Just need some homegrown vegetables, fish from the pond to braise, cook or just eat with fish sauce to finish the meal. Unlike the North, which favors dishes made from river fish such as grass carp, or the Central region, which favors mackerel and tuna, Western-style delicious dishes often prioritize catfish such as basa, tra fish or snakehead fish for cooking. These are types of fish with thick, firm meat, few bones, soft and fatty belly, easy to process and cook very quickly. With braised fish, the best taste is when the pot of fish is served on the tray while still hot, gently bubbling. The fish meat is smooth and fatty, thanks to the way of marinating the fish and the unique recipe for mixing the braising liquid, without using caramel, but the finished product is still shiny brown, dyed with a beautiful cockroach wing color. Pick up a piece of rich braised fish and eat it with hot rice. And finally add a bowl of mild and sour soup made from tamarind, mangrove, star fruit. With bean sprouts, sweet and cool bean, fragrant with attractive fried garlic and a piece of firm fish dipped in spicy chili sauce, I say there is nothing better. Speaking of sour soup, we have to mention snakehead fish. But for me, sour soup is also a place to remember. And sour fish soup is also one of the dishes that reminds me of my homeland of the river delta in the West. I once read somewhere that the fish of the West is a wandering fish. Because every flood season, fish follow the water from Tonle Sap Lake in Cambodia to the Mekong Delta to reproduce. Depending on the size and shape, the fish have many different names. The fish in the early rainy season are very fatty, but the most delicious meat is the snakehead fish. When I was a child, my mother often showed off her cooking skills by processing snakehead fish into many different delicious dishes such as braised with pepper, braised with salt, braised with turmeric, fried until crispy, even dried or fish sauce. Snakehead fish sauce is also one of the famous fish sauces in the Garden region. However, I still like my mother's sour soup with snakehead fish the most. Snakehead fish when cooked in sour soup becomes sweeter and fatter. When I mention it, my mouth watered because of the sweetness of the meat and the fat in the belly, which is very typical of this type of fish. The sweetness of the meat mixed with the sour taste of tamarind. Eaten with water lily, tomatoes, pineapples, is truly incomparable. The skin of the snakehead fish is very slimy, so when you get home, you should wash it with salt. You can add a little lemon juice to remove the fishy smell. Besides carefully washing the fish to remove the slime, the process of making sour snakehead fish soup is no different from sour snakehead fish soup. First, sauté the shallots with a little cooking oil. Add the tomatoes and stir-fry until cooked. Add water and season with spices and sugar to taste. Take the tamarind out of the bowl, pour boiling water and stir until the tamarind dissolves. Then slowly pour the tamarind juice into the pot of broth. Then add the fish to the boiling broth. Finally, add okra, pineapple, mint, water lily and bean sprouts if you like. Wait for the broth to boil again, then taste it to see if it's good enough. Especially, to make the pot of sour soup perfect, you cannot miss the coriander or spiny coriander. Sour soup is one of the soups that helps you cool down in the hot summer. A bowl of spicy fish sauce makes the sour snakehead fish soup more flavorful. Southern sour soup has a sour taste mixed with a rich sweet taste seasoned with sugar, along with spicy chili. The original sour soup comes from the Southwest region. In the West, there is an interesting dining style that many dishes have all kinds of vegetables typical of the region in the pot. For example, hot pot with island, vermicelli with fish sauce. Sour soup is no exception. What's even more interesting is that the ingredients will change with the seasons. Sour soup in my hometown has all kinds. You can cook it with any vegetable you want. It can be garden vegetables such as banana flower, basil, thick-leafed perilla, celery, onion. The main ingredients are also easy, in which season there is good fish. Buy that fish to cook sour soup with snakehead fish, sour soup with catfish, sour soup with snakehead fish, sour soup with stingray. Make sour soup from bunches of ruach, lemon, jock fruit, banyan fruit, yellow-flowered tamarind. Sometimes it is not required to have star fruit, tomato, pineapple. For example, in the flood season, people in the West will have a bowl of sour soup with lin fish cooked with water lily and dean flowers. In the rainy season, when bamboo shoots grow a lot, people pick them, slice them thinly, and pickle them to cook sour soup with bamboo shoots. However, a characteristic of sour soup in the West is fried garlic. If you eat sour soup at a restaurant with a sign of Western cuisine or order sour soup in the West on the menu, but when served, you do not see fried garlic, this is a foreign soup. When cooking sour soup, you will always add minced garlic. Fry until golden brown first. This is a must-have step when cooking a sour soup meal. No matter what kind of fish soup or vegetable soup, people in the West like to have fragrant fried garlic in the soup. I don't know how people in other regions eat, but a bowl of sour soup without fried garlic will feel lacking when eating. Because fried garlic both removes the fishy smell of the fish, enhances the flavor of the broth, and makes the aroma rise when the heat is turned down and the pot is lifted off. An indispensable character on the dinner table. People in the West love to cook sour soup. Going to the market, wandering around from fish stalls, meat stalls to vegetable stalls, to dried food stalls, not knowing what to cook for my father and son for lunch. I just go up to the top to buy a piece of fish and then cook sour soup. This is also a soup that can be grabbed with whatever is left in the house to cook. Go to the backyard to pick a bunch of this vegetable, a bunch of that vegetable. Pluck a few tamarind leaves or pick star fruit, Put everything in the pot and you have a delicious meal.